The focus of this recording is a mutator member function in a C++ class. It is a type of function which is designed to change the object's data, for example, to set or to update the data. Let us try to understand the mutator functions better through this code. This is the code that I used in the previous recording. Student with attributes name, ID, and marks object. Marks object has these attributes, and we have the set function, display function, and deallocate function. And there are some statements in the main function. So, mutator is a function that actually is designed either to update, for example, if I want to update the name, if I want to update ID, if I want to update the marks, then I would be using mutator function. So among these functions that are displayed here, this set should be the mutator function, or you can also call this deallocate as a mutator function, because this actually does make changes. It deletes, or removes data, content from the data. So this is you can also call this as a mutator function at this point. Let me focus on the set function. It receives ID, name, and marks, and it does allocate the memory, and copies the data into it. It again allocates the memory, copies the data into it, and it also copies data into um, the not the static variables, or the variables which is not a dynamic memory space. So this is one mutator function. One thing that is missing here is if you allocate memory like this, and for example, I have this, you create a object and you allocate the memory, and then after that I'll call set function again, 2002, and different marks. Let me use the same marks in this case. What actually happens is the members, name member and the marks is already pointing to a dynamic memory space. You are suddenly making that those pointers point to a new dynamic memory space. So when you execute this logic, so previous dynamic memory space will be not released, it will be allocated, and will not be usable anymore. That situation is called memory leak problem. So you need to be careful about avoiding those kind of problems. So let me first, before you allocate memory, you must release it. Delete name, and then after allocate, and it's always a good idea to delete when it is not null ptr. If name is not null ptr, then you delete. If it is null ptr, that means it is not pointing to any valid memory space. Here as well, if marks not equals to null ptr, and you delete it. And then allocate this way you can make your code more memory, free of memory leak problems. Here, other kind of mutator functions you can think is, for example, if you want to change the name, you want to set the name to different name. So for that you have a function like set name, which would receive constant character pointer, p name. We cannot make it constant. In the mutator you cannot have this constant keyword in this place, and it doesn't return anything, so void. Then we again use the same logic. Maybe you can copy this logic and put it over there. Right, so this is a mutator another mutator function, or you can also have a function that can add the marks to this object. for example, this dynamic array has 5 marks, then if you add, it should have 6 marks, and size would be increased to 6 from 5. So we can have something like this: void add marks, and it will receive float p marks. And to add the marks, uh, it is a bit tricky. First I need to create a bigger memory space, because the data is stored in dynamic memory space. So I would create a temporary pointer. So this type should be the same as the type of this marks member. So then you actually allocate memory equals to new, and length of the string, then length of the marks, sorry, it should be marks object size plus 1. So you have extra space to store this incoming marks. Then you copy I equals 0, I less than size I plus plus, and copy one by one. Temp I equals to marks I. Then finally you copy the final one, temp equals to p marks. Then after that you want to delete this memory, this marks dynamic array, and you make it point to this newly created array. So delete, and finally you want to make sure that the size, this memory is also increased to one number higher, more. So this will actually should add the marks, right? So this is also a mutator. There are a few examples: set name and add marks. These are mutator functions. So let us make use of those functions. For example, initially you set it, and you display, you set another marks, another data, then you st dot set name, something like this, then st dot display, and st dot add marks. I want to add let's say 61.11. So let me see what we can see out of this after executing this code. Let me switch to the terminal. So we do execute this code. I think there is a typo. Oh, I think I missed to put the type of the objects here. In 39 it should be, I should have put the float before this bracket. So going back to the code, here, yeah, you should have float type here. Another problem is spelling mistake in line 45. ARKS. Back to the terminal. Now it has executed well without issue. Main.exe. Taking more than I expected. Let me terminate it. So here we are having problem with this. The reason is that I want to explain you what is the reason here. Let me go to the code. So what is happening is when this object is created, the pointer is not initialized properly. So the logic we have here is we check null ptr and it doesn't actually because it's not initialized properly means that it may be pointing to some random places, and if you delete that place, it could be some other data that can be deleted. So at this point in the beginning, I actually want to comment this out just to show you the output. But when we have the constructor function that we'll talk in the next video, I think it should be this should be well managed by that the constructor. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm commenting this out, but these are the codes that are actually necessary in this kind of function. So with this change, I think I should be able to run the code. I need to switch to the terminal, so we can see it is working with that the change. Let me just point out one more time. So this was since these pointers were not properly initialized in the beginning, then it was difficult to I mean probably it is not exactly null ptr. Some random address was initialized to it, and then it tried to attempted to delete from that place, which was not illegal. So for that reason we were actually seeing the problem. Now I have commented this out, but I will definitely this we will be able to address this issue more easy better when we actually start talking about the constructor one more time. So so we have this output. First we had the max. First we invoke the set function with this data, so you can see this data, and again we invoke the set function with a different data, and but the max was the same. And third time we invoked the I think set name function, so the other ID and the max is same, and the set name actually set the data to different string, name to different string. And finally we invoked add max function. So add max function actually added one additional max at the end of the previous max array. So back to the code. This is the mutator function we talked here. This is another example of mutator function, and this is another example of mutator function. So that is all I have to talk about this topic. Thank you for watching.